We're going to go through filters in this video. The first thing that we need to do is ensure that all of our filters are going to load here. So by default, they're not all loading. So we're actually going to go to the Edit menu and go to Preferences at the very bottom, then go to Plugins. And once that loads, you're going to go to this Filters category here, and you're going to tell it to show all filter gallery groups and names. It's usually just a one-time thing that you need to do. Let's click OK. That's going to ensure that all of we've added actually some categories that weren't here a minute ago. All right, so what most people do, they take a basic JPEG and they go in and they start messing around with filters. So let's just go into one here, Neon Glow. All right, so here's Neon Glow, and I have all of these different categories here. These categories represent what you see in the menu, but you can expand each one. So if you decide, oh, I don't like Neon Glow, I like this one or that one. Okay, so I'm just going to pick one here, and I can control everything in here. So if I want to make some adjustments to the effect, I can do it here, and it shows me which one that I have applied. Now I can apply multiple filters. If I want to add another one from another category, I can click right here to create a new effect. It says it's smudge stick, but once you click and change it, it shows you here which one you have. So this gives you a little flexibility in having more than one filter showing. I can turn that one off, see what it looks like with one versus the other or both. And if I decide I don't like one, I can hit the trash can. But for right now, I'm going to click OK. And this is considered this is considered destructive. And the reason it's destructive is we have modified the background. So if I save this, I'm going to do a Control S. And if what's happening here? All right. Okay. So it's saved. This file is called Balloon 4. Okay. Now I'm going to go back here. And this is Balloon 4. I'm going to reopen it and show you that the changes that I made are permanent. Now, I have the same file in a different file name here. So you can clearly see this is what it was, but because I did the filters destructively, it saved those changes. So the better way to do things, I'm going to use this version, is to convert it to a smart filter. This is considered non-destructive. You do it right here through Filter, Convert for Smart Filters. You'll get a little pop-up menu saying it's going to be a smart object. Okay, so right now it's just a locked background. Once you click OK, it changes the name to Layer 0. And then it also, let me make this icon a little bigger for you, it shows you this little icon. That means it's a smart filter. You might not understand a smart object, but when we apply filters, they will be non-destructive. So let's just take a look here. I'm just going to go in to any of these categories, open it up. Let me do one that's a little bit more intense. Okay, so let's say I add dark strokes, and then I'm going to add another one just to get some variation. Okay, whatever. And again, you can adjust all these sliders all you want. I'm just trying to keep this simple here. Click OK. Now you have in your layers panel the non-destructive element going on, because we can hide the filter effect. I can also, and this just indicates I can hide them from view. This little icon just means there's some hidden. So when you click the triangle, it shows them. I can double click the filter gallery right here and get back in. So I have the ability now to maybe take dark strokes off. I can trash it. So it gives you more flexibility. I could even hide this one altogether and maybe add a different one in here. I'm going to pick something that actually shows up. Turn the eyeball on, click OK. The other thing that's interesting about doing it non-destructively, this is a mask, and we know that white is going to totally reveal. If I target this and I go in with a black brush, whoops, I can actually hide the filter from here because it's a mask. So I'm targeting the filter, going in with a black brush, and I can actually paint back in the original part of the picture. And that's what the black pixels are doing here. So you can do some, kind of interesting things here because it's flexible in that we've done it non-destructively. So I would always recommend that you do it non-destructively. However, there are cases where some of the filters don't work in the smart object mode. So I'm going to just F12 this thing back and show you here. So take it a second. All right, so if I did a smart object, convert it to smart filters. When I go into filter, some of these are grayed out, like Liquify, which is a really cool one to use. So if I F12 this document back one more time to its original JPEG, notice filter Liquify is not grayed out. But the problem is it will destroy my background. So a nice workaround is just duplicate the background layer, Control J, hide the background. Now we always have the background layer available if we need to get it back. And I'm going to go into filter Liquify and show you this one. It's kind of cool. This gives you a brush size, and you can do all kinds of things. You can warp things by doing things like this. You can change the brush size with your square bracket keys. You can pucker something, and you pucker something by just clicking and just holding your mouse down. So as I pull, I can reshape things. I can bloat. So I can blow up this balloon here, and I can restore all, which gets me back to normal, etc. Now, one of the things with the with Liquify, so let me just make some changes and swirl this around. This is considered a destructive. Like, notice it doesn't build, it's just not something you can do in a smart filter mode. However, because we duplicated it, we could always get our original back like this. But most of the time when you're working in filters, you're going to go to convert to smart filters. It's grayed out because I don't have the right layer showing. And again, that would be filter, convert for smart filters, and then go from there. One last thing that I want to show you in filters, if you go in to one of these filters, okay, and you start messing with the changes here, in order to get it back to the original, like you want to restore everything, if you hold the control key, see how the word says cancel, the button? When I hold control, this will reset it back to default because you're never going to remember the original options here. So that works with any filter. So if I go into artistic and go to fresco and I start changing these brush things and I'm like, oh, I don't like these, I need to get it back. The easiest way to do it is just hold down control, it'll say default, and then you're back to what you had originally. So that's filters. It's a lot of fun to mess around with them, but I do recommend always doing smart filters so that you have that flexibility to experiment, but also get the original image back.